Hello guys and welcome to round 2 of the Sunoco Elite Series. We are here at Lime Rock Park for our first road course on the series. Today we are going to be taking 40 laps around Lime Rock Park. This should be a relatively exciting race because Lime Rock Park is something that I've always been waiting for in testing, and the testing has been going great. The test races were amazing. And I expect the same out of the real race here in Lime Rock Park. But let's get down to it. As on the pole today is Nick Pericles from CJ Racing, who I'm not sure, but I believe he did pretty decent last race. Nick Pericles. Oh, there's a problem in the back actually. That's out of Zachary Fitzwater. He's able to get going. Okay. Good for him, good for him. Almost another problem like Chris Dodd. Figures out everyone was wondering what happened to Chris Dodd last race. Apparently he blew the engine before we even started the race, so the points manager did not pick up that he was in the race, so Dodd is in this race now. We're not sure where he is, we'll cover that later. On the pole, like I said, Nick Pericles alongside Dion Scott from Team Flame Racing. In row 2, we have 98 Tyler Avery, which we didn't see much of back last race either. And now he's starting third alongside Alexander Rowe. In row 3, we have Dan Server, and then the leader of Scott Ganassi Racing, that is Philip Scott. In row 4, if we can clear the trees here, Adam Vincent. He finished high up in the order last time around. He finished 6th, and now he's up in the top 10 starting position here. He's going to be a big threat alongside Roman Rahal. Then in row 5 is a pair of Scott Ganassi Racing cars. John Racer, who got a 30-point penalty, which I was actually able to calculate. I found a way to do so. And John Bunnell on his outside. So Scott Ganassi Racing starting strong here at Lime Rock Park. Back to the pack, like I said. Chris Dodd, he is here, but he's 2 rows from the back. So he's got a lot of time to make up, including a few people who didn't get points last time. Gerardo Ron, Jeffrey Finga, they got no points last time. John Arndt. These people are still looking for points, but it's going to be hard to get it because of how far back they are starting. But we shall go back to the front. It's actually Laughter Stucol who had a problem. So Laughter Stucol will not start the race. Sad for him. But putting that aside, to the green, Nick Pericles is going to take the green for round 2 of the Sunoco Elite Series. Watch the lights on the left side. Once they flash green, we're going. Lights are green. Green flag is out. And Nick Pericles leads them to the green flag here at Lime Rock Park. Actually, Dion Scott got a little bit of a jump. That may be discussed later in the race, but Dion Scott got a jump on Nick Pericles, which may have been illegal. We'll research that later. But it's Nick Pericles and Dion Scott battling for this lead. Now here's where people go really wide. And yeah, that's what we usually see. Dion Scott went really wide, and that allowed Tyler Avery to get by, and maybe Alexander Rowe might get by as well, but for now, Nick Pericles for CJ Racing was currently last in the Constructors' Championship. They needed this. And now they're getting it. They're out front. Nick Pericles. But then again, the next car back from CJ Racing. Okay, that may be a problem. Next car back from CJ Racing. We are still looking. Oh god, John Arndt in 26th. So these guys need to pick up the pace, as CJ Racing is falling behind once again, except for with Nick Pericles, who is leading this race. We actually got a pretty nice gap over Dion Scott and Alexander Rowe, who has recently taken the 3rd position over Tyler Avery. Now Vincent's looking as well. And that's Team Flame Racing. So Team Flame Racing's got a few drivers up front. Dion Scott and Adam Vincent 2nd and 4th. Those two may be good to look out for in Constructors after this race. But for now, still have a leader Out front, Nick Pericles. No crashes yet, I don't believe. We can go check on that. No crashes just yet, but CJ Racing seems to be making some moves. Ooh, just going a little off-road. It's Nick Pericles going wide. There's Alexander Rowe on Dion Scott. That should be an easy move. Yes, very easy move for Alexander Rowe. And William Brock Motorsports is in the second position. It seems Pericles went a little wide in that corner. Here comes Alexander Rowe, who's going to catch up a little bit. He's not close enough yet, though. So your top 5 coming to the line is Nick Pericles. Alexander Rowe seems to be trying to make a move. Dion Scott, Adam Vincent, and Philip Scott, leader of Scott Ganassi Racing, doing well. Rowe was not able to make the move, but that was the fastest lap of the race so far out of Rowe at a 49.7. So Rowe is fast on track. We are now looking. Alexander Rowe once again looking for a move. Not going to get it done. Maybe. Rowe once again looking. He's not going to get it done. We'll check on them later. More bad luck for the number 32 car of John Racer, as he would go wide, lose the car, go into the forest. This is a natural thing. But what would happen out of it would be the bad part, as he would get right into Jimmy Bakula and go straight into the outside fence. And that is going to be the day for John Racer. So Scott Ganassi Racing once again unlucky with John Racer. Back up at the front though, Nick Pericles and Alexander Rowe still battling for this position. As no one's been able to pull a fast lap as Rowe was able to pull. As now it's still Nick Pericles trying to hold off the 31 car of Alexander Rowe. As pretty much this top 5 is pretty stable, but Philip Scott makes a slight mistake. Here comes Dan Server, but I don't think he's going to get the move done, no. And Rowe continues to creep up the side. As now Nick Pericles down the hill once again. It's a long 40 laps, and I believe it should be around 2 pit cycles. Yeah, John Racer, that'll be the day for John Racer. Tough luck for him in the first season. But Nick Pericles now leading. Here's Alexander Rowe. Ooh, still not fast enough to take Nick Pericles' position. But Pericles, if he wants to keep this position, he needs to start running. And he does just that. Pericles starting to get a gap now. As here's the 2 Team Flame Racing cars. 3rd and 4th. This will be an excellent finish if they can pull this off. As for Philip Scott, he's still holding down that 5th position, so even though John Racer has crashed out of the race, Scott Ganassi Racing still looking at a good top 5 finish. As for the next one down, seems to be Bunnell, I think. Yeah, Bunnell. 17th position. Someone we need to look out for is someone on the move. Aidan Shepherds, the winner of Toddring. He could definitely be a threat for this race. And if he can take 2 wins in a row, that'll give him and his team a good gap over the rest of the field in Constructors and Individual Championship hunt. But he currently sits down, and I believe it should be 9th now. So watch for Aidan Shepherds later in the race. But as of now, Alexander Rowe has made the move for the lead as we were off camera. And now, Dion Scott's going for the move for Team Flame Racing, but no, Nick Pericles is going to keep the spot. We look near the back of the pack. Some drivers who definitely need something here. Eric Monaco, which I called Brock a couple times last race, I apologize, who crashed out of the race after missing the pit road entry. Again, that wasn't a penalty, but he was given a stern warning. And the 2 CJ Racing cars, which are back here, Chris Dodd and John Arndt, who are down 26th, 27th, now 25th. Jeffrey Finguy and Tasker. Basically everyone back here is still looking for a spot because these guys did not do good last race. And once again, these guys are not doing that well. So everyone needs to pick up the pace here at Lime Rock Park if they really want to take away some good points. Oh! Avery has a crash! So this would be Tyler Avery and Dan's server. Dion Scott would also have a problem on the outside. And a blowover for Dan's server. That is definitely a dire situation. Oh, that is not good. First, let's go check out what happened to Dion Scott. He went really wide. As this would be between the two Team Flame Racing cars. As Scott would come down on Vincent and he would just get in the wall. That was all Scott's fault. But this is definitely a dire situation we're looking at here. Dan's server, we're hoping he's okay. He's in the medical center now. We'll give more information on that as the race goes on. That was a scary incident. But back near the front, it's still Alexander Rowe and Nick Pericles hanging on to the back of each other. Still not giving an inch. Constantine's on pit road as well, but there's no damage. That may be a mechanical problem. We may go look at that in just a moment. But now, Lorenzo Log, who got 5th place last race, is now maybe looking at a current points lead as he sits down in 4th, going for another top 5 finish for the number 14 car and Clever Haas Racing. He's currently the highest Clever Haas Racing cars, the next one down. I'm not even sure on that. Looks to be Paul Jackson in the 13th position, and then Shelley in the 14th position. One of the biggest movers of the race, Kyle Collins, in the 15th position. He was down in the 30s at the beginning of this race. Collins is on a move. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to crack the top 10 near the end of this race. So Kyle Collins, definitely a man on a mission. So keep an eye on him. As for the other cars, for CJ Racing, Arndt's been on a little bit of a move. He's 21st. And as for Dodd, he's in 24th. So Dodd hasn't moved that much. Arndt has moved a little bit. And then there's just Collins, who just took over the 14th position. And there was another wreck. That's Aidan Shepherds, the points leader. What happened? So Aidan Shepherds would be battling with Scott Roush. What would happen? She would run the car wide, and the car would stall. He stalls the car. People are trying to get around him. Did he get hit? And if so, where did he get hit? It doesn't look like he got hit anywhere. As he still sits, he's on the track. Oh, Torres! Torres would hit him. That would be the end of the day. End of the day for both of them. Bad look for them. Sebastian Torres yet again another pretty bad finish by Aidan Shepherds. One driver we expected to do good all season long after that performance at Toddring. He's crashed out of the race. This gives a chance for other people to take the points lead, especially Lorenzo Log, who, like I said, sits in the 4th position. And he's been running a pretty good pace, 50.1, which is 4 tenths faster than the person in front of him. And 7 tenths faster than the person behind him. So he's on the leader's pace. Lorenzo Log could be a big threat near the end of this race and the championship if this keeps going on the pace that he's going at. As we look back through, Scott Roush, another Team Flame Racing car. Team Flame Racing is everywhere near the front. They're 3rd, they're 6th, and they're 8th. So Team Flame Racing is just doing incredible today. Oh, but Roman Rahal makes the move on Dion Scott. That's going to put Team Flame Racing down another position, but because of how well they're doing today, I wouldn't be surprised if they got up there in constructors. Pack of 4 back here. Ryan Monaco, Paul Jackson, John Bunnell, and Kyle Collins, who is still making some moves. What about his teammates? We'll check back up on them. They have moved none whatsoever. They are staying 21st, 24th. So their day is going. As for the As for, yeah. Shepard seems to be getting back on track, though. He is getting tires. That is a good sign. So Aidan Shepard will rejoin the race. Wow, that's pretty surprising. After the crash into the guardrail, I thought he wouldn't return to the race, but apparently he's gonna return. Good for Shepard. Getting some extra points, salvaging as much as he can. But one person that isn't salvaging, like I said, learns a log. Still looking at a points lead right now. Next person down who could even get close to taking that points lead away. It's a while. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know who would be even close to taking that position, as it's far down the order. Probably Max Anderson in the 43. Because James Constantine's currently on pit road. What about Jimmy Bakula? Where is Jimmy Bakula? He got second last race. He's currently sitting 29th, so he's got a long ways to go. So all the lead drivers are nowhere to be found except for Lorenzo Log. So, amazing race. Amazing season so far for the 14 car. It's a little too early to say if he's going big for the championship. But for now, we can say that he's a threat. Now Adam Vincent's going for second. Adam Vincent may be also in the hunt for the position. He's currently 5th in points. Actually, Vincent's ahead of Lorenz in points. I forgot that because Vincent led a lap in Toddring and Lorenz did not, Vincent actually ended up getting 5th in points, even though Lorenz got 5th in the race. So, right now, Vincent should be your points leader. But that is very unknown at the moment because there's a lot of people up here who were not up here before. So who knows what we could see. But the work by Pericles, the move, did not work. Actually, that's weird. Usually that move works almost every time, but this time it just didn't work out. But yeah, CJ Racing still doing amazing today. Holding down a podium position, definitely something to be proud of out of Nick Pericles. But he wasn't crowned the Season 21 of Arkansas Elite Series for nothing, as he currently sits 3rd. But the man to talk about today is Alexander Rowe. He sits up in 1st for William Brock Motorsports, and this is someone we saw nothing of last race. We saw almost nothing of him up front, and now he's leading. And is he gaining? No, but he's losing 1/10 a lap. But he's still 1.5 seconds up on everyone else in the field. That's impressive out of Alexander Rowe. And he's going to gain some good points from this if he's able to hold on to 1st. But this race is far from over, and Vincent is gaining. But the first pit cycle should be starting soon. As Constantine's still on pit road, we still don't know if he's going to return to the track. That's for Jimmy Bakula, the 3rd, 2nd in points. Not too good of a day. 29th. So basically it comes down to the guys up front. As now Lorenzo Log getting past Nick Pericles maybe. No. He's going to have to try soon because he doesn't want to let Vincent get away and possibly take this points lead away from him. Right now it seems that that's the case. But like I said, this race is far from over, so who knows? Let's head back to the pack and look for some other battles. Let's see, Roman Rahal's not doing very bad today as he wasn't near the front last race either. I believe he was actually involved in that first wreck. I'm not sure though. Roman Rahal down up in the top 10 with PJ Karenko from Fitzwater Australia Racing. Fitzwater Australia Racing is currently 2nd in Constructors. Actually not something we really expected after race 1, as they, even though they weren't near the front, they still had a lot of people near the middle of the pack, which definitely led to them getting 2nd in points. But the current Constructors points leaders, which may change after this race, is Epic Motorsports. But because their drivers are doing so bad today, we may not see that out of this race. As Caldwell down in 27th, Bakula down in 29th. Like I said, Constantine not even on track right now. And their last member, 17-4. I'm losing track. Okay. But just saying, these guys are not doing as good as they were doing last time around. Last race, they were pretty dominant cars. And now we can see that they're not doing as good this race as they were before. As they really need to pick it up. But, like I said, it's still a good day for some people, including Adam Vincent, who is good friends with the team owner for Epic Motorsports. Vince Caldwell and Adam Vincent have had a good relationship since Amsoil, because they're pretty good friends off the track. And it's good to see Adam Vincent leading for his friend who is down near the last position. So maybe it's a change of events. Maybe the confidence off of Vincent will rub off on Caldwell, and maybe he can start making a charge to the front. But yeah, as we can see, looking through the pack, it's going to be a long ways to get to the front. As Caldwell and Bakula still looking to try to make it to the front, but they are way back. They're still salvaging points, though. Don't get me wrong. They are salvaging points. Top 30 get points, and they are currently sitting in the top 30. So this isn't a completely bad day. They are still getting some points. Let's look at where is Kyle Collins now. Collins still in the 14th position. His advancement is pretty much stopped now, as his day is pretty much even now. So as we look back at the front, Constantine still on pit road. We're looking for that. But Vincent and Lorenzo Long making moves on each other. This is the move for the points lead. This is the most important battle on the track, because whoever finishes in front of each other at this point in the race, if we stay as we are now, it just depends on who finishes in front of each other gets the points lead, because I believe these two are separated by 1 point in the points, so it basically comes down to position. And Vincent goes wide, and that's just going to easily give a Log the position. So Lorenzo Log to second, and that's going to be a good salvage from a 5th place finish to a nice second. That's going to give him definitely the points lead. And Philip Scott just took over Perigly's position, and now he's going after Vincent. He is really fast, as we're still looking to see how far maybe he could go to make it to the front. Even though he only got a 51.1, the others are pulling 52s. Everyone else is faster on the track than these guys, including the leader, Alexander Rowe. But now, Philip Scott makes the move for 3rd. So now there's a car separating Vincent and Log. So now we're looking at this point, chase is getting even bigger in Lorenzo's favor. We look back through the pack. Any big threats coming up through the pack? Not really. We are still looking at Lorenzo Log being the points leader out of this race. Jeffrey Finguy in the top 20 now. Gerard Aron, who was also near the back in the beginning of this race, has clawed his way near the front as he's getting his way up. Collins still 14th, as Collins still trying to get more points for CJ Racing to get them out of last place in Constructors, because the funds for the teams to make them better teams than the others just depends on your points after the season is over. So these guys not only need to salvage points for championship, they also need to salvage points just for money, as they are not doing very good now. Apparently still holding down the top 5 position, so I wouldn't be surprised if they salvaged enough points to get them out of that last position for now. But we're not really sure who would take that last position, because we got some Clever Haas who's near the back of the points up here. We got William Brock Motorsports who's near the back up here. We got Scott Ganassi. All the bad teams are up here, and all the good teams are not doing very good today. The big teams that are doing good, Fitzwater Australia Racing, definitely one to look at, as I believe they both got top 10s. 2 cars on their field got top 10s so far. So it's definitely something to look at. Ryan Monaco from William Bach Motorsports, they're salvaging good points. John Bunnell for Scott Ganassi Racing, they're salvaging good points. Like I said, CJ Racing, more Fitzwater cars, more Ganassi cars, more Haas cars, more Fitzwater cars, more Brock cars. And then we get to Trailblazer, who isn't doing that good at all. Trailblazer may fall to the last position. Zach Smith. Red Stallion isn't doing that good either. Red Stallion was one person that we predicted to take the points on constructors, but we don't really see any Red Stallion near the front. With all these Red Stallion racing cars near the back, as now pit stops have begun, now we see Nick Pericles and Gerardo run in pit road. So this is when pit cycles begin. How will pitting earlier benefit, if at all? Lorenz Olek's still 3/10 faster than the leader, and this pit stop could definitely fix things. Is Rowe going to come in this time? No, Rowe's stretching still. Olek stretching still. Scott's in. Vincent's in. Fitzwater's in. Roush is in. Scott's in. And Bisceglia stays out. Oh! Paul Jackson and PJ Karanko have an incident. Wow. And Karanko's stuck. Paul Jackson doesn't know what to do. His car's damaged. It's leaning to the right. That was just ridiculous. No penalty there, though. That was just bad communication between both teams, and that's just not going to benefit either team. But now we see Nick Pericles. Can he get out ahead of any cars? No. He stays exactly where he was before. Right behind Philip Scott. So, now we look back at the front. What about our leaders? Rose in pit road. Alexander Rose in pit road. We have Lorenzo Long's in pit road. Bisceglia's in pit road. Look off to that right side. That's Gerard Aron. He's a lap down. He's still trying to get that lap. We're still looking off on that left side. Now Lorenzo Long pulls out. Now Rowe pulls out. Is anyone going to be able to challenge these two? There's Vincent coming into the picture. Not even close. Pericles gets the spot on Scott. And now we're just looking at a good position out of Pericles if he can pull this off. He's fourth at the moment. Fitzwater's fifth. So Fitzwater was one of the bigger gainers in this. What about Collins? Did Collins gain at all? Oh, Bunnell lost a little bit. And Bunnell's going to lose another position to Collins. The order still hasn't figured out itself because of the pit cycles, so we'll look back on that in just a second. We're not sure how high up in the order they are, but Rowe still leading, and it looks like Log gained a little bit of time on Rowe during that pit cycle. Karanko's close. So now, here comes Lorenzo Log, pushes Rowe wide. Can Rowe recover this? He runs wide in the corner. And Log's just going to get right past. He's going to gain the position. Easy. And Lorenzo Log should be your current points leader. But like I said, let's go look back on Collins now. Where is he sitting? 12th. He gained 2 positions for his team. That's more salvage points. 20th. That's more salvage points. And Dodd's still 24th. Why have you not moved any position? Konstantin's still in pit road. Karanko coming back in because of what happened between them. He's still got some time. Some damage to repair and some time to make up. Fitzwater now looking on Pericles. Can he make the position? Yeah, he's going to make it pretty easily, actually. Or not. Pericles trying to hold his own. Pericles goes wide! Pericles! And that's it for Pericles' day! Just when we thought CJ Racing's luck had turned around, it gets thrown out the window. And CJ Racing is right back where they started. Tough break for Nick Pericles. Oh, that is not a good day for him. back up at the front. Lorenzo Log now leading, I believe. Yeah, Pericles is on pit road with a lot of front end damage from hitting that fence. Just bad luck for CJ Racing this season. In the first 2 races, their luck has not turned around. Oh, that just sucks. But now, top 2 in points should be top 2 in points. Lorenzo Log, Adam Vincent, first and second. I believe Rowe has already led the most laps out of anyone can lead at this point, so Rowe should be taking home 10 extra points for himself. So it's okay if he forfeits a position or 2. What about Collins? Collins sits 11th. He's still gaining position. So Kyle Collins. Maybe CJ Racing isn't over just yet. Maybe they can salvage a little bit. As Collins now making the move on Roman Rahal for 10th. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw these guys get into the top 10 with Kyle Collins, and that's exactly what's happening now. Kyle Collins is in the top 10. What about his teammate, John Art? How much can these guys salvage? John Art, 19th. He's in the top 20. Dodd has at least made the move to 23rd. Everyone's just trying to hold on. And now we see Roman Rahal trying a move on Bunnell. It doesn't work, and now Baskinger. Someone we haven't talked about all day today. We talked about it a lot last race as he got wrecked twice in the same corner by 2 different people in the same situation. But now, Baskinger may be looking at a top 10 if he can gain enough position. So not bad. Scott Ganassi Racing currently sitting in good positions. All 3 are in the top, well, 3 of them are in the top 15. As now, Lorenzo Locke is getting away. As it may just be all him as we're coming to 10 laps to go. Fitzwater goes a little wide though. This opens the door for Philip Scott. Could Philip get a position? Scott Roush, another Team Flame Racing car. We talked about this. Team Flame Racing pulling an amazing day today. As they got members, we got Adam Vincent 2nd, Scott Roush 6th, and Dion Scott in 9th. So they have 3 cars in the top 10. Kyle Collins, CJ Racing, maybe not over. Maybe not be over. Baskinger loses a position now to Roman Rahal. That was definitely weird. John Hart, 18th. He's gaining position. Chris Dodd, 22nd. Maybe this isn't over. But Lorenzo Log for Clever Haas Racing now has stretched his lead to 2 seconds. Over Adam Vincent, should be 2nd in points. And then Alexander Rowe and Fitzwater, who sit 3rd and 4th. Fitzwater was in the Amsoil Elite Series, and same with Aidan Shepherds, he didn't do much. And now he's pulling good performances near the front. And that's a good thing for Fitzwater. And where do I get started on Philip Scott? For those of you who watch Amsoil, we all know what with Philip Scott, as he won in Autodrome de Paris, which we will be going to later this season. So it'll be good to see if Philip Scott can be able to pull yet another win at Autodrome de Paris, but that's far from now. I believe that's round 20. We're only on round 2, so Philip Scott doing pretty well at the start of this season. Maybe he could be looking at maybe a championship if he keeps up a consistent pace. As for Alexander Rowe, he may be losing another position now. Yep, to Fitzwater. And maybe another position to Philip Scott, as he's now slower than him. Wow, Rowe from 1st, and he's now losing. He's losing touch with the top 5, as he is pushed down to 5th. And we got Scott Roush approaching. Rowe's a little wide. That could be bad. Nope, he doesn't pull what Nick Hercules pulled. Good. Good job. Kept calm, kept collected, and Rowe is still up here. That could have been bad. And we got Scott Roush still gaining. He's all alone in 6th. He's got no one close behind, no one close ahead. And now Philip Scott pulling for Fitzwater's position for 3rd. And it seems Vincent's gaining on Lorenzo Log. So he's gained about probably about 3/4 a second in the past few laps. And now, as we come across the line, he gains more. Now it's almost down to a second. This race may not be over for the win. As your top 5, Lorenzo Log, Adam Vincent, Zachary Fitzwater, Philip Scott, and Alexander Rowe. And Roush is there. Roush has caught an immense amount. This could be Scott Roush into the top 5 very soon, and that could give more points to Team Flame Racing, which Epic Motorsports, Fitzwater Australia Racing, and Redstone Racing do not want to see. Kyle Collins is actually now holding down the 9th position as he got past Dion Scott. That's going to reduce the points that Team Flame Racing gains, and it's going to increase the points that CJ Racing gains. What about his teammates? Once again, we're going to go look at them. 18th for John Arndt. Dodd lost a few positions under there now. We got a lot of blue cars up here, including 2 cars which have pretty much the same design. William Brock and Benoit Verradine have pretty much the same design, except for the fact of their advertisements. Kyle Collins still holding down that 9th position, but it's a far way up, about 3 seconds up to the next person up. That's Ryan Monaco. And Philip Scott and Alexander Rowe still battling. And now Rowe's going to get the position back. And here comes Scott Roush. Roush is fast. Roush is pretty much going to get this position. As that gap got really small between Vincent and Lorenzo Log, but it seems that Vincent made a slight mistake, and now it's been stretched out to a second once again. So yeah, that was there was a mistake out of 51-1. As now there's a 3-car pack right here. We've also got Bisceglia closing up, Monaco closing up, Collins maybe closing a little bit. Collins is... wow. Monaco is really fast. As Monaco has the fastest lap on the track at a 49.590 and is currently the fastest car on track. So Ryan Monaco could potentially reach the top 5 maybe by the end of this race, but it's very unlikely because we're near the end of this race. And we see Benoit Verradine on pit road. We're going to go check that out. This would be a pretty scary incident as well, as these guys will be battling. It would be, I believe it would be Bakula. No, it would be Dodd. Benoit came down on Dodd, and Benoit would just go straight in that fence. It was a little scary, but Benoit was already cleared from the medical center. So, Benoit's fine. Don't have to worry about him. As back up at the front, Lorenzo Log leading this race with only a few laps to go. This wasn't that long of a race, but Lorenz, it must have felt like a long time for him. It's Lorenzo Log, Adam Vincent, Zachary Fitzwater, Alexander Rowe, and Scott Roush now, who's looking to maybe make the move on Alexander Rowe relatively soon. But they're all going wide, and Philip Scott may be catching a little bit. As for Ryan Monaco, is still 0.5 faster than everyone else in the field. So Ryan Monaco still at the fast pace we thought it would be a few laps later. But 3 laps to go for Lorenzo Log, and he will have won here at Lime Rock Park and take the points lead. Can Lorenzo Log take this away? Into turn 1, the big sweeping right-hander. No mistakes have been gotten out of him yet, but Adam Vincent is not far behind. A big mistake out of Lorenzo Log could potentially throw this win to Vincent, or even Fitzwater, but that's a very unlikely thing, as Bisceglia has caught up to Philip Scott. Philip Scott's already lost touch with the top 5, and now he's losing touch with another position, as the leaders are losing time to everyone else in the field. But it's not going to be enough to really catch the leaders. Lorenzo Log, 2 laps to go, and that'll be it. This was a 40-minute race. No cautions. were allowed in this race, which is why there were so many wrecks without a caution. Lorenzo Long has a second over Vincent. Vincent would need to gain half a second a lap to catch, and he would still have to get past. It's very unlikely with how they're both running their game pretty much the same lap times. Roush makes the move on Rowe. So Roush, a great position today, now 4th. Monaco's there now. Monaco may actually go for a 6th position if he can gain enough time, but we're coming to the white flag. Lorenz cannot make it! He threw it away! That's a shocker! Lorenzo Long could not stretch it to the finish. And just like that, Adam Vincent, 5th in points coming in, should be 1st in points going out. Wow! Lorenzo Long threw away the win when he couldn't make it on fuel. And now, Vincent, who's had a consistent day, who's been near the front the whole time, who's been patient, who hasn't been aggressive near Lorenz, who hasn't been trying to catch, wasting his tires, through the last corner, and Adam Vincent is going to take away a win at Landmark Park and the points lead. What a finish. Adam Vincent was able to stretch it out. Fitzwater's going to gain 2nd. That's going to give Fitzwater Australia Racing a good points haul. PJ Karanko was not able to make it to the end. Roush gets a top 3 out of all this. Rowe gets 4th, Bisceglia 5th, Monaco 6th, Scott 7th, and Bunnell's going to take Collins' 8th position right at the end. But still, a nice haul for CJ Racing, even with Pericles' big mistake. Collins still able to haul out a 9th position. As for his teammates, 17th for Arndt and 21st for Dodd, so not bad for CJ Racing. I wouldn't call this a bad day. I definitely would not call this a bad day, but congratulations to Adam Vincent. Let's go look at your official results. And Adam Vincent's going to take away the win here at Landmark Park and should be taking the points lead out of Landmark Park. 3rd round, we are still unknown of where we're going to, as there's been a lot of discussion. But Fitzwater takes away to 2nd position. Like I said, good points haul for Fitzwater Australia Racing. Roush gets 3rd. Amazing points haul for Team Flame Racing, and they could be the constructors' leaders out of this race. Alexander Rowe 4th. Amazing haul for specifically him, not for his team, but for him. Beautiful, as he was able to grab, I believe he was able to grab most laps led and basically takes 10 extra points out of it here. So I believe he actually gained more points than Scott Roush did out of this race. And maybe even Fitzwater. Bisceglia, a good top 5 for Kyle Bisceglia and Cleverhouse Racing after Lorenzo Long threw away the win, gets 16th. Ryan Monaco, one of the Monaco brothers, and he plays out a good race today. Philip Scott 7th, John Bunnell 8th. So those are the 2 Scott Ganassi racing cars we could definitely see getting a lot of position, as they're actually pretty low on the constructors. So this definitely helped. And Kyle Collins and Roman Rahal rounding out the top 10. Kyle Collins, like I said, getting a good haul for CJ Racing, getting at least some points, and Roman Rahal for Red Stallion Racing, who was 3rd coming into here. We're not sure how they will be coming out. But until next race, guys, should be exciting action, but still unknown on the track we're going to, but should be around this weekend when that race should be coming out. But until then, guys, I will see you then. Ciao.